Yo, who put this thing together, baby? Nick did. Go grab a glass, let's have a blast, we finna kick it. Oh, what your people tryna ride? Well, they can kick it too. Man, we just basking in the vibe, you know how Niki do. Whether it's morning or the evening, even afternoon, drop in, it's always poppin' in Niki's champagne room. Whether it's morning or the evening, even afternoon, drop in, it's always poppin' in Niki's champagne room. Niki's champagne in Niki's champagne room. Niki's champagne in Niki's champagne room. Niki's champagne in Niki's champagne room. Niki's champagne. Welcome to Niki's champagne room.
Welcome back to where it's always poppin', and you know where that is, Niki Champagne Room. And I just want to say I'm so happy to be back for season 2, because unfortunately during season 1, I was in a horrific car accident on May 26, 2022, at approximately 5:45 p.m. I remember the time, because I was on my way to get my hair done by my beautiful beautician, Cree, and during that time, I had a lady who did a illegal U-turn in front of me. I tried to avoid her. And from avoiding her, I hit the back of her car, and my car just started to spin and spin and spin. And the only way that it would stop was by hitting a tree. So unfortunately, I hit a tree dead on about 45 miles per hour. The injuries that I sustained was a broken ankle, a broken femur, and also internal bleeding that resulted that I had to get surgery. I was in ICU for 4 days, and I was in hospital for 3 weeks and 3 days. And I just want to thank all of my friends and family for all of your support. Without you, I don't know what I would have done. Thank you for the visits to the hospital. Thank you for the text messages. Thank you for the phone calls. And thank you for all the beautiful gifts that I did utilize. And so I just want to say thank you. And this is a very hard episode for me, because I haven't experienced so much love in such a big way. And I wasn't no expectation on my part, but I just want to sit here humbly and say thank you. And that would bring you to my special guest, my loving husband, Ian Elliott, of 6 years. And we're just going to talk about love, being a caregiver, healing, recovery, and how that can be. And I just want to say, first of all, before we get started, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for caring for me. Thank you for taking care of me. Thank you for bathing me. Thank you for dressing me. Thank you for everything. So I just want to say thank you. Okay? Okay. So before I get started, you know I gotta take a sip. And take a little sip here, because this is something I'm going to get through. So, Ian, so the question that I have for you is, like, start from the beginning when you received the phone call.
So that afternoon, I got that call. First, I thought it might have been just a butt call, and I hung up. The call came back again, and I almost went off on the guy because I didn't know why he had my wife's phone. And he explained to me that she was in a horrific accident, and they're about to take her to Loma Linda Hospital. So I rushed out of here, went there, and went in. I guess for me, I didn't expect to see what I saw. And because of my past and some of the injuries that I've seen in my time in the military, it didn't shock me, but the concern I had was whether or not she was going to actually lose any body parts. So that was a concern, but they did take care of her. They got her in, and they did surgery that night, kept her open because she had the internal injuries. But the next day, they had to actually wait until the bleeding had actually subsided before they decided to go back in to actually close her up.
So I just wanted to say, because when you say, because we went from my foot, but then you say I was still open. So can you explain what that means?
So during the, while we were in the emergency room, the doctors actually started checking your body, and they realized that there was some level of swelling. They didn't know for sure because you weren't complaining about any pain, which I thought the pain would have been in your ankle, but they decided they want to actually check because of possibility that the airbags might have hit you.
Mm-hmm.
In doing so, they found out that yes, partially part of your lower intestine had dislodged from your bowels, and that's when they decided to do emergency surgery that night.
Okay. But then you said they were, did I stay open also for a certain period of time or?
So you stayed open for about 2 days,
Okay.
and that's mainly because they wanted to actually start bleeding. They didn't want to suture you back up and then have to take the sutures back out to go back in to actually repair the damage. So they decided to keep you open and put you in ICU for, I think you were in ICU for about a week, just to make sure that the bleeding had actually subsided. And in doing so, they also did the surgery on your leg at the same time. So you had a total of about 4 or 5 surgeries.
Right. Luckily, you don't get to remember that part. I remember when I was in the emergency room, I remember when you came in and I said, "Oh, babe, take a picture of my foot," because I want to make sure I wasn't dreaming, okay? Because the way that I could have lost the foot. But I remember saying that. And, I'm glad you took a picture of me in ICU because I would have never known like what I looked like and how that was because I was out of it. But then after surgery, and then I was in a hospital for almost a month, and then coming home from surgery, from the hospital, we had to get a hospital bed. I had a wheelchair. I had like a little potty thing, in case I couldn't make it to the restroom, but I used it in the tub to take showers. I was like, I'm going to the restroom. I mean, it was crazy because everybody was on watch. Everybody was helping. So I would go from my hospital bed in my family room with my walker to just go up a step. I had to get into my wheelchair and then wheel myself or be wheeled to the bathroom. So it was just a process, but I was determined during that time to, just push and get better. I didn't want, I was happy when because I had the cast and the one thing that I want to talk about is you're so great in picking the clothes for me because you have to remember, as women, we have our own stuff. We have stuff in our closet and we have our own little organizations. Not saying all my stuff is organized. So for him to jump in and like, well, where's your pants and where's your dresses? So I just ordered stuff. And then in the way that our house is made, I would be downstairs on my hospital bed and he would go to the balcony upstairs and he would lay out every day. He would lay out 3-4 outfits. This was the summertime, so now it's summer. So he will lay everything across and he's like, okay, what do you want to wear? And then he would, then I choose what I want to wear and he'll bring it downstairs and I'll get ready for my day. Every morning, the beginning stages of recovery and healing, I had to give myself a shot in my stomach every morning before blood clots because we didn't want that to happen. Then he would make me a shake every day. It was just orange juice and with collagen and then, beautiful friends. They brought me vitamins. They brought all kinds of stuff. They brought hair products. They brought scarves. They brought everything. So I had my bedroom was downstairs, but not messy downstairs, but just, it was organized. So I had my little routine every day and I wouldn't be able to do it without you. He cooks anyway, but he was cooking for me. He's, helping me get dressed, helping me with my medication, helping me. He would then once I start healing more and taking me to my doctor appointments. I mean, the things, everybody's like, well, he's your husband. He should do that. But he did it and he did it like this. So show him that smile. That's how he did it. He did it with a smile. And so talk about the caregiving part, like what went through your head?
Well, to be honest, it was initially a challenge because this would have been my first time having a situation where your spouse is actually in this situation.
Right.
In the military, you just do what you have to do, rough it out, whatever, but this is your spouse. So it's a little different, and you had to put a little bit of TLC in it because of the fact that you have to understand basically what that person went through, and to get them to that point, you have to stay positive. Even though there are times when you were just on the negative, I have to go positive because to me, the positivity actually will help you heal a lot faster. So it was just mainly doing that and making sure that if there were any special needs that you had, that they were accommodated. And if so, if I can't, I will find someone that can. But for me, overall, it was just making sure that you were comfortable and that you were able to sleep at night, because I know sleeping on a hospital bed in your family room is not the greatest
No,
when you're talking about your regular bed.
exactly.
So, yes, it was a challenge, but the thing is, I still had to do it because I want to make sure you had a speedy recovery and no bumps in the road that's going to deter you from healing faster.
And I appreciate that. And I want to talk about it. It's so funny because you're saying about the making sure that I'm comfortable in my hospital bed. So let me tell you guys, we like UGG comforters, right? So we took one of the UGG comforters. We bought the you remember the for the mattress, like the little cushion.
It was a cushion that the hospital provided that we had used.
Right. No, then we bought on Amazon. Remember?
We bought that one, but that one
But it was still like. And then we did the comforter on top of it. And in front of the television inside of the family room, I had the best seat in the house for TV, first of all. And then it got really comfortable. And then people were like, can I lay in your bed? No, it's my bed. And it was so good, though, because when Ian, because he had to work every day. He worked from home, but he still had to be at work at 5:45 downstairs working. So at nighttime, the kids were on the second shift. They're on the night shift. So they would help, and AJ and Storm and Autumn. Storm came later in July, but AJ and Autumn, they would come and just help me so I can have help to go to the restroom. And it's so difficult. It's so funny when you think of it now, that one little step to go up from the family room to the hallway, it was a challenge. It was very difficult to do that. And I'm just so happy, that you were here and able and willing. I mean, and when he said my negative, I was negative a little bit more, like, I want to be able to make sure I'm going to walk again, and the pain, and I want to be upstairs. But the negative, some of the negative too was my fault. Is that he helped me, but sometimes he a little too much. He's like, every little thing. If I move, you okay? You want this? You want that? I was like, I'm okay. Because a person who's used to being independent wants to stay independent. It is hard to depend on someone for everything. Like, I depended for everything. And whatever challenges that I gave you during that time, I apologize. You know where it was coming from. It's coming from, charge it to, my heart.
Yeah.
But it just not having that independence was very difficult for me. But I don't know, when they say for better or worse, and when they say for richer or poorer, but anyone who attended our wedding, I only said for richer and richer, but I did say for sickness and health till death do us part. And I just want to tell you, you stuck by those vows.
Thank you.
You stuck by those vows. You're still taking good care of me, and I'm still recovering, but I'm still standing. And that's what I want you guys to know, that I am still standing. I went from a cast to a boot, and about the week of Christmas that was happening, I got out of the boot because it was starting to make me uneven, and I was very uncomfortable. And the reason why, I'm going to be transparent, the reason why that I was in the boot is because I didn't want to limp, because I figured when you're in public, and let me tell you, people are nice to the disabled, okay? Because people are like, oh, slow down, you okay? People saying, you want a wheelchair? I was like, well, I'm in a boot. I just got out the wheelchair. But people are very nice to the disabled, but I didn't want to be looked at as disabled. So I figured the boot would show that I had an injury, and that's why I'm limping. So my own pride and ego kept me in the boot. But I can't fit shoes that well because I still have a lot of swelling. However, that's why I probably was in a boot longer than I was supposed to be. But I just forget it. I'm just going to have the little limp. I'm going through physical therapy, and I know eventually that it'll be gone. But I had to look at life a different way and not think what people would think of me, like, oh, look at her with that limp. But the thing is, nobody knows what I went through. I'm lucky to have a limp. I'm lucky to be able to still stand on 2 feet, because comparing from one hospital to another, the second hospital is like, I'm surprised you still have your foot. And and so we're blessed to have that. And any last things that you want to share to support people who are caregiving for their spouse or anyone else in their family, like some tips?
So for tip wise, I would say stay the course. There's going to be challenges in terms of demands from the person that's actually needing the care. Be patient, lots of patience, and at the same time, do what's necessary to keep them very comfortable, because that's going to be the key to making sure that their mind doesn't shift from healing to disarray.
And you've done that, and you're still doing it, and you still get on my nerves because he's still. I get out the car now, and he's right there trying to help me. I'm like, no, I need to practice. So he's still babying me, but he can still cook though. He can still cook for me because I don't have to cook. So I just want to say thank you. This is like a love episode. This is the episode that shows healing, recovery, sticking to your vows, and just thankful to be here. And I look at life a different way. And so I just want to tell all of you, embrace every day. Enjoy every day. I went to Cancun with a boot because I still said I'm going to continue to live my life. And those who know me know that I'm here to live my life. And I'm glad that I'm living it with you. And I just want to tell you thank you. I appreciate you. And I didn't cry because I cried before the episode. So once again, I just want to thank my whole family. I want to thank all of my supporters. And I'm looking forward to season 2 of Niki Champagne Room.